Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a classic Latin movie in which a 90-year-old journalist becomes obsessed with a young, beautiful girl. He visits her every night to play games. What happens next? Watch the full episode to know. Movie begins with an old man named Homan. He was making a phone call after a long time. As soon as the call connected, he said, "I want a young girl." He was about to turn 90 soon. Homan was a well-known journalist. Whatever he wrote, people eagerly read it. The next day, Homan called a woman named Vinnie again. Vinnie was known for arranging girls for playing games, and she had done so for Homan several times before. Homan once again asked her for a young girl. He explained to Vinnie, "I want to celebrate my 90th birthday with a young girl." Vinnie assured him that she would arrange someone soon. Meanwhile, in a factory, many young women were working. Among them was a girl named Rena who was around 20 years old. Rena's mother had been ill for several months, and she was in desperate need of money. Back at his house, Homan watched as his maid went about her chores. Seeing her, he was reminded of his younger days, when he used to carelessly spill water in the maid's quarters. The maid had been working at Homan's house for many years and had played games with him countless times. That night, Homan was set to celebrate his 90th birthday. He got ready and made his way to Vinnie's house, eager to celebrate with a young girl. Upon arriving at Vinnie's house, Homan is greeted warmly at the door. Vinnie smirks and teases, "You're not getting any younger, yet here you are chasing after women." Homan chuckles dismissively, brushing off her remark. Vinnie had long tried to set Homan up with potential partners, even recalling her failed attempt years ago to introduce him to a younger woman. Though Homan had never married, claiming he'd never fallen in love, he still enjoyed casual flirtations. Leading him to a dimly lit bedroom, Vinnie gestures inside. Homan steps in to find Rena, a young woman lying tensely on the bed. The same Rena who once worked at his factory. Surprised, Homan pauses, struck by her presence. He quickly swallows a stimulant to steady himself and approaches her. Unbeknownst to him, Rena had disguised herself with heavy makeup to avoid recognition. When Homan makes advances, she stiffens, her discomfort palpable. Sensing her reluctance, he retreats without pushing further. After an awkward silence, he resigns himself to sleep. The next morning, Homan leaves cash discreetly beside Rena before slipping away. Desperate for money, she had reluctantly agreed to this encounter. Now she pockets the payment, conflicted but relieved. Later, Homan's office erupts into cheers as his staff surprises him with a birthday cake. After cutting the slice, the room buzzes with laughter and music. Meanwhile, Rena wanders the market, lost in thought. By chance, she spots Homan chatting with friends on his way home. She freezes, watching him intently from a distance. Homan, oblivious to her gaze, lingers in cheerful conversation. The way Homan spoke caught Rena's attention. Later that day, as soon as he arrived home, he received a call from Vinnie, who informed him, "The girl I arranged for you yesterday wants to meet again." Homan was taken aback, reluctant to see Rena. He worried she'd mock him for his hesitation during their last encounter. He refused, prompting Vinnie to give him time to reconsider before hanging up. The next day, while Homan wandered the streets, Rena spotted him. Intrigued, she began trailing him. After a long pursuit, she tossed a bracelet toward him and fled. That evening, Vinnie called again, still not interested. After a pause, Homan agreed to meet her. That night, Rena slept peacefully in Homan's bed while he watched her, conflicted. Her innocence softened his guarded heart, stirring feelings he hadn't expected. By dawn, he left quietly, still restraining himself. Days later, Rena began appearing near his workplace, lingering in his thoughts. When Vinnie confronted him, she said nothing happened. "Should I find someone else?" Homan finally admitted, "I like her. I will burn firecrackers in the cave soon." That evening, Homan gifted Rena a delicate gold chain and murmured admiration for her beauty. She blushed, savoring both the praise and the token. The following night he returned, and this time he played games with Rena whole night. Since then, Rena spends her days at the factory and her evenings at Vinny's house, where Homan played games with her. A few days later, while Homan was working in his house, his maid asked him, "Where do you go at night?" He refused to answer, but when she pressed him repeatedly, he grew angry and snapped, "Mind your own business." That night, Rena returned to Homan's home. The two had destroyed each other's caves in a prior clash, but now Homan sat reading stories to her. When he finished, they drifted to sleep. Late into the night, Vinny shook Homan awake. "I need your help," she whispered, leading him to a dimly lit room. Inside lay a lifeless body. Homan stared in shock. "Who is this? Who killed him?" he demanded. Vinny explained, "He came here for fun just like you. The woman he was with murdered him and stole his money. She wanted Homan's help to bury the corpse." Meanwhile, Rena stepped out of the bathroom and froze. Vinny cradled the body in her lap. Terrified, Rena ducked behind a wall. Vinny then handed the corpse to a shadowy figure tasked with disposing of it. Witnessing the scene, Rena became convinced Homan and Vinny were killers. They could do the same to me, she thought, fleeing into the night. When Homan returned to the room, Rena was gone. He called her name endlessly, but she'd vanished. Days passed without her. Obsessed, Homan scoured the city, mistaking strangers for Rena in crowded streets. He grew restless, haunted by her image every time he closed his eyes. Desperation consumed him. He vowed to find her at any cost. Vinny, fearing the police, had also disappeared, leaving Homan adrift. His search even led him to a factory where Rena secretly worked, but he walked right past her, unrecognizing. Eventually, Homan tracked Vinny down. "Where is Rena?" he pleaded. Vinny deflected, urging patience. "Wait for the right time," she said and closed the window in his face. Unbeknownst to him, Rena ached to reunite with Homan too. But fear paralyzed her. She stayed away, even as her heart pulled her back. Then a letter arrived at Homan's door. "Come to Vinny's house tonight." As darkness fell, he hurried there, pulse racing. This was where he'd once met Rena. Tonight, he was sure she'd be waiting. But when Homan sees another girl on the bed, he goes crazy. Enraged, he starts beating her. Hearing the commotion, Vinny rushes to him. She stops him and then reveals that Rena's mother has married him. Homan is shocked to hear this. He had always wanted to marry Rena, but perhaps she was never meant to be his. One day, Homan sits on the beach, lost in thoughts of Rena. Just then, a woman approaches him. She is recently widowed and appears to be around 70 years old. As soon as he sees her, he starts talking to her. Homan had spent his life chasing women, but now, as he nears the end of his days, he longs for true companionship. So he decided to marry this woman and settle once for all. He may not have gotten Rena, but he finds solace in the company of this woman, with whom he can spend the rest of his life in peace. And with that, the story comes to an end. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you enjoy such content, please subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Until then, take care.